So, Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. A pretty interesting game. Probably not what everyone was expecting, but kind of what I was expecting, to be honest. Obviously, after the West Ham game, everyone's thinking that we're just going to start going on a massive win streak again. I think more realistic to expect that it's going to be a bit of teething issues for a while. But we started with roughly the same team as we did against West Ham. Obviously, with just Robertson changed at left back. Overall, we looked quite effective in some ways. We were fairly defensively solid. We didn't really give them many good chances. We conceded a deflected goal, which was obviously very unfortunate. And then we scored a deflected goal where Wirtz kind of lashes at the ball after being absolutely amazing in the box, and the ball goes in. Really pushing it at the end of the game, but we just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. They had a big chance at the end, which Chiesa stopped as well. But overall, I think Liverpool, a little bit underwhelming in this game. Looking a little bit leggy and a little bit lacking in ideas in terms of how to break down a team that's pretty obviously parking the bus. Sunderland with a back six at times with three in front and then one striker chasing around. Pretty obvious to me that Liverpool have, for God knows how long now, what, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe as long as I can remember, have always struggled against teams that park the bus, and it usually takes a set piece or a real piece of brilliance by someone like Wirtz, for example, to actually unlock a defence that just continuously parks the bus and packs out the box. With the same problem against Forest, where we had 30 minutes of absolutely destroying them, but we couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. And then, lo and behold, they have one counter-attack, one chance, one goal. Of course, they went on to win that game 3-0, and we had about 20 shots on goal and no goals. West Ham, we had a lot of chances in that game, and I think in this Sunderland game, we actually created less chances. Gakpo just looked well out of sorts at the minute. I mean, as soon as Salah came on at half-time, I knew that we were going to concede a goal, because it just, every single time that Salah plays at the minute, we become so much more open. He looks like he's chasing shadows at the minute, if I'm being completely honest with Salah. I don't know what's going on with him, but it just seems like his levels have dropped off an absolute cliff at the minute. Like, people just run past him for free all the time. He sometimes chases people, he sometimes tackles people, but it just seems like people can get past him so easy, and it just looks like he gives up all the time. He's in a real sorry state of affairs. And I know everyone's saying he created 4 chances when he came on, but were they real proper chances? I think there was one where he fired the ball into the box and it could have been a goal if someone had got a good contact on it. But apart from that, he just looks absolutely nothing like the player that we were used to seeing last season, where he was turning defenders inside and out, providing actual good opportunities for assists. I don't think I've seen him once cross the ball into Gakpo on the back post and Gakpo actually head it in. Although I think Gakpo missed one of those against PSV? An absolute sitter. So Liverpool looking a bit out of sorts again, although I think more solid overall with that lineup with Gomez at right back. Gomez didn't play as well in this game, maybe just due to fatigue. Szoboszlai playing a little bit more, not really on that right hand side. I think things were a little bit tweaked from the previous game, which may be why we weren't as effective. And I don't think we were passing the ball to Wirtz enough. The amount of times that Wirtz will show for the ball in the lines and people just won't pass to him, he's exactly the kind of player that can receive the ball in those areas and do something really good with it. I know that it looked like Sunderland were laying traps for him in those areas where they could steal the ball, but Wirtz is an absolutely world-class player at receiving the ball and turning in those spaces. And you know when he's in that left-hand channel where he loves to be, that he's going to get chances in there, and you have to be feeding him the ball all the time in there. Obviously, we didn't create anywhere near enough actual clear-cut opportunities for Isak either. Feel so sorry for Isak at the minute. Everyone's slagging him off and slating him, but he's not receiving any kind of service that he would like he did at Newcastle, where he would basically have 2 wingers, actual wingers. This is what I was saying in my last video. Gakpo goes down the wing, cuts inside. Salah goes down the wing, cuts inside. Every single winger we play, they go down the wing, they cut inside. So what's Isak supposed to do? He's not going to be constantly receiving the ball on the edge of the box because he's a number 9 who wants to be on the last line of defence. At Newcastle, he had Gordon or Murphy or whoever it was last season, Barnes on that side. There was another one on the right-hand side that I can't remember. They just bought Elanga, didn't they? But they had another one on that right-hand side as well. And just run down the line and cross the ball into him early. It would always be a ball over the top. You cross the ball in. Isak is a striker. He's in space. He's in behind. It's usually tap-ins or at very least pulling the ball back to him so he can have a proper chance. All the matches that Liverpool play in, we're a possession-based team. We're playing possession-based football. Isak's never going to get these kinds of opportunities when we've got two wingers that cut inside and pass the ball back across the edge of the box all the time, recycling the ball constantly over and over again. They're never going to have that early ball where they play it across the face where Isak's going to be looking to pounce in those areas. There was a few times where Wirtz would get the ball in that inside left channel and cross the ball across. Like, was that in that PSV game, or was it in the West Ham game, wasn't it? Where he got in that inside left channel, played the ball across the face, and Isak should have been in a position to score for that one, in my opinion. But overall, Liverpool, I want to say almost getting there. But I mean, at the minute, we look like a leggy team. Our midfield doesn't exist. McAllister is like, I don't even remember him playing, really. He doesn't really do anything for me. He's nowhere near got the legs in there at the minute. Him and Gravenberch together, we're so open in that midfield area at the minute. Szoboszlai's running around like a headless chicken trying to contribute for everyone and make up for all of them not really running. We've got McAllister and Gravenberch who are just running away from the ball in the midfield rather than going and challenging players and slowing them down. I think we really do need a profile in there, like an Elliot Anderson or maybe an Adam Wharton, who've got the technicality on the ball, but they've also got that good rigidity. They've got good legs. They can get after the ball. They can chase around in those midfield areas. Like I said in my previous videos, I wouldn't be against playing Endo in those positions. Play Endo and Gravenberch and then Szoboszlai in front, and you'll probably solve a little bit of that rigidity issue because Endo will just sit in there and actually defend like a DM. Whereas I think McAllister and Gravenberch, when they're together, they seem to get caught out of position quite a lot. Like in that, I always remember that Chelsea game where Chelsea scored that Caicedo goal, and it was literally just because Gravenberch we basically got Chelsea, they've got possession, we've got our two DMs. Gravenberch steps out, and then McAllister just steps out as well and gets turned, and then all of a sudden, they're in like 10 yards of space going on the back four. And the amount of times this season that this has happened, where the players in that midfield too, mostly McAllister and Gravenberch, they just look so out of sorts. The opposite team seems to be able to capitalise on one of them jumping into the midfield and then getting in behind them, and then all of a sudden the other one, because they've got no legs at the minute, they can't shuffle across and defend. This is a perfect example, right, against PSV. Salah gets absolutely stripped for dead, doesn't even track back, and then we've got Gravenberch who's up the field here. Let me do this from your perspective. So we've got Salah here, he gets done, their players running into the midfield like this. Gravenberch is up here, out of the way, not even running back in to cover his side of the defence. McAllister's all the way over here going, he's got to be looking at this and going, this guy's running into 30 yards of space in on the back four. I better shuffle across and try and stop him. So we've got McAllister, he gets across a little bit, and then he stops here. We've got Konate who's running away from the ball. We've got McAllister who comes across a bit, runs away from the ball, and then they just play a pass into their striker and they score. It was absolutely remarkable to see. And I've seen it in every game. We've got players, none of them are challenging the ball. They're all running away from the ball all the time. And this is exactly what happened when, who did we just play? My God, my brain. Sunderland, when they scored their deflected goal. We've got Van Dijk, he clears the ball away, and then their player just runs back in for free. McAllister's running away from him. Gravenberch is like nowhere to be seen. He's all the way over the other side of the pitch. We're so open in that midfield area. We need more robustness in that area. We've got to have players that are going to challenge for the ball. Van Dijk's standing off him because he's playing the percentages, because he knows most of the time he's going to hit him with the ball and it's going to go out for a corner, or he's just going to deflect off him. Van Dijk very unluckily deflects the goal into his own net with a horrible deflection, which 9 times out of 10 would go somewhere Alisson could save it, which was supremely annoying to watch. But the most annoying thing about it was McAllister, in the exact position where he should be defending and challenging the ball, was just running away from him. He wasn't going and getting a challenge, and you've got to go and engage players when they're taking shots from those kinds of areas, because there's time after time the weakness and the frailty of that midfield pivot for Liverpool has been costing us goals. And then obviously when you lose goals, you lose games as well. Konate made his customary mistake, which we somehow managed to sort out, thankfully. But oh my God, I mean, Liverpool at the minute seeming well out of sorts. A massive, massive game at the weekend against Leeds away, who've just beaten Chelsea, by the way. It's going to be a very tough game. We've got to beat so much more compact than we have been. I think we have to play the exact team again that we played against West Ham. We've got I think Kirkes gives you a little bit more energy at that left back position at the minute. Let Wirtz float, keep Isak up front, let Gakpo do his thing. Hopefully he can give us some kind of pace down that side. I think that 4-4-2 kind of situation that we've been kind of playing, almost like Villa, where, you know, Villa, they play Morgan Rogers almost like a second striker, but really he's the 10 and he drops in and does that kind of thing. That's what Wirtz was kind of looking like for me. Isak was the striker. Wirtz was next to him when we're pressing and stuff in the 4-4-2 defensively. But then when we get the ball, Wirtz drops in and ticky-tackies around and Isak goes up front. That's kind of the similar thing that what Villa have been doing, and they've been flying recently. I watched the game with my dad last night, as well as watching the Liverpool game in the same room in here. And Villa won 4-3 in the end. A little bit sketchy at the end, but Brighton are a good team. Villa are on 27 points now, and they look really solid. And they played Kamara and Onana as their double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 for most of the game. And they look so imperious defensively. Two big, strong, mobile, aggressive players in that midfield that can also carry the ball and play the ball through the lines. Really, really effective pairing. And I watch them and I go, Liverpool are really lacking this effectiveness in that pivot at the minute. Gravenberch, he's been playing okay. He's been playing pretty good. But I think he does leave the midfield really open sometimes. And McAllister just looks really out of sorts for me this season. Everyone's been saying it. It's just looking a bit weird for Liverpool. But we go again. We go again. What, we're on 22 points now? So like 1 or 2 wins and we'll be right back up there in like second or third again. But right now, Liverpool obviously well out of sorts. And we need to start finding ways to beat these teams with low blocks because we really struggle. As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Liverpool are finished this season? Or do you think we're going to turn it around? I personally feel like we're going to grow into the season as things go on. We're still only in December. We've only played 15 games. 14, 13 games. 25 games to go, everyone's been saying. I mean, that's an incredible amount of time, isn't it? 25 games. That's 75 points on the table. Or 72 points now. I think it's the 14th game we played. 72 points on the table. Anyone could win it. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, like and subscribe, leave a comment. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.